Yo, Daniel, you there? Can you hear me? Yeah, I just set this display up. So I'm still got some things to work on, like the tips and the subscriber stuff, but okay, word. So you're talking about books, or like ways to get started. I got 2 books here. The first one that I really recommend as like a good solid baseline, it's very like simple to understand, is this book here. It is if you want to write this down, it's called Charting. It's a simple book called Charting and Technical Analysis by Fred McAllen. That's a solid base to just get to understand like the basics of charting and technical analysis, really. It starts out like really basic, literally just goes over like price theory and like, you know, macro level price movement and stuff like that, like how to read candles, and then it starts to go into patterns and whatnot and all that jazz. And then once you finish that, I then recommend this book. This is called Advanced Techniques in Day Trading. Now, I'm not a day trader when it comes to crypto per se, but the things that you do learn in this book can be applied to swing trading and just overall chart reading. So I recommend this. This just is a more in-depth, like a more in-depth look into, or I guess overview of technical analysis. It goes through way more patterns. It goes through price action. There's some other stuff in here too that's more specific to day trading, but yeah, these two would be the 2 I'd recommend. The first one definitely, because the first one's is like gives you a solid base and a solid understanding. Definitely the first book. But I guess this is like my first stream. I decided that I think streaming is a better route, only because I can talk about, you know, instead of like taking the time to try to make like a video on one coin, I can just go through the whole market essentially in like an hour or 2 and just give updates, instead of having to try to make, you know, constant videos on all these different coins. I just think it's easier. It's more convenient for me, and it's more streamlined, you know. So I just think that's the way to go. Obviously, I don't have the biggest following yet, but maybe one day, we could get there. You're definitely one of the OGs, OG subscribers, and yeah, like I said, I still have. I got this little like kind of overlay here, the stream overlay. I still need to work on a bit. Like I got the subscriber new tip, top tip that needs to get hashed out, so that and when if we start to grow and people start to donate or whatever, then that it'll actually display it. It won't just say stream label here. But I kind of wanted to test this out. Kind of been working on this all day today. Yeah. And yeah, you should be able to get those. You should definitely be able to get those books on Amazon. I know I got both. I know I got this charting one, the first one on Amazon. I'm pretty sure the second one's on Amazon too, to be honest. and they're not that expensive. But I've read these in like, I read this in like a couple weeks, and then the advanced techniques I read in like a month. It's a little bit thicker. Just out of curiosity, how did you find me? Because I'm literally just starting from the bottom, have no following. I just posted it. Did you just? I don't need, like. I'm just straight curious. I did post on Reddit. I don't know if you saw my videos through like a Reddit post, but yeah. I gotta fix this chat box too, because I don't like the chat disappearing so quickly since I'm so tiny. Let's see here. Also, let me know if the music's too loud, because I can't really tell. So you really just stumbled upon my small account, and well, here's the thing that here's the thing about the crypto, like the crypto people, like the big guys. I mean, some of them are sound, some of them are good, but a lot of them feed a lot of the guys, a lot of the big guys, they like to use like emotion to build, like to basically gain followers. The only guy that I've seen that really isn't like that is Benjamin Cohen, and I don't know if you follow him, but he's legit. Like he's like he doesn't really care about emotions and stuff like that. He's just kind of like gives you straight analysis and that's it. But all the other guys, like you can tell by just like the YouTube thumbnails where they use like a bunch of crazy images and stuff like that, like Bitcoin to the moon, all that jazz, and they're just trying to they try to hype it up when it's simply just technical analysis. Like that's all you're doing. All you're doing is looking at a chart. I mean, there is some fundamental analysis that comes into Bitcoin, but or with other cryptocurrencies, but what's hilarious to me is people think that the surge that we've gotten here, like we can just look at the charts here, the surge that we've gotten here is because of like the Amazon news. And while that may be true, there's definitely more to the story than that. It's not just the Amazon news just pumped this up to 40, like whatever it hit. It hit what? It hit 40,000, 40.5 or 40,500. It wasn't that. It was because you broke this trend line. Like that's what gets me. Like people will, like, you'll see that in the media first off, like, CNN or whatever. They'll use straight like storylines to tell you why price action pumped. But in all actuality, if you have solid TA, you can literally predict it. Like you actually have a solid. I'm not saying you can be 100%, but you can predict things that are going to happen. Like when the price started pumping up. Now I will say, this initial price pump here, there was a big catalyst for that was the B-Word conference with the whole Elon Musk, Cathie Wood, and Jack Dorsey thing. Because I was watching that live time, and when that happened, the price started pumping. And there was nothing in the charts to indicate a pump. There was nothing like we've broken a line of resistance or anything like that. It just started going. So I knew that was because of the B-Word thing. But once we broke this downward trend line, so it starts here and it comes here. That is like you can literally see it. It's like obvious. I don't even have to explain it that much. But you see, we closed right here above it. Came down the smallest of wicks down to test it as support, bounced off, and then you see how we just went, it went flying because you broke a almost, what is it? It goes like, it's almost to mid-May. So that's like a 2+ month support. I mean, you broke, or a 2+ month resistance line. You broke a 2+ month resistance line. That's where the pump comes from, and it's been going down for so long now, since mid-April, that the relative strength index was to the floor. You know, your stock ROI was to the floor. Your MACD, all your indicators, all of your oscillators were low, and they were giving you sell signals, or giving you high buy signals. And once we started getting the momentum, that's when it hit. But now you can see I have this heavy resistance line drawn out. I actually had this drawn out before the price action hit, you know, up here. And we took a huge dip down. But this is the last day. I mean, we just switched over to the new day candle 15 minutes ago, and you can see we just closed above a key level in the resistance here. So we're sitting in the zone. Now what I want to see here is for this candle to establish, you know, a low. I don't want it to drop too much, and I want to see it try to work out of this resistance zone. The biggest thing here is you got the 100-day moving average, simple moving average, which when you're below it, it's going to act like a line of resistance. Like, that's just how it is. So it's gonna act like a line of resistance. You're going to, and that's kind of what happened here. We hit that, or we didn't hit it like on the head necessarily, but we approached it and then we drew back. But when we start working through this zone, if we do start working through this zone, you're going to probably run into some potential resistance here when it starts to drop lower and lower. But right now, things are looking pretty solid. I mean, you're talking about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days in a row. That's huge. Volume is looking okay. It's as high as it's been in the last, month or so. So things are looking solid, even on the relative strength index. I mean, we're still not even we're still within this purple band, and that's fine. Like, for RSI, you're looking for like my purple band is from 80 to 20. Anything over 80 is considered overbought, and anything under 20 is considered undersold. So we're still in a healthy range. I mean, at some point, do I think it'll consolidate in the resistance zone? It could, yeah. There could be a result. This resistance zone is so thin. Like, you're literally talking about a price between 40 and 39. I don't know if it'll consolidate for long at this point, just because of how heavy this push upward is. A lot will be determined by what happens today. I can't predict the future. Like, for all I know, the price action could just surge through this resistance zone, break the 100 MA, and then you're testing it back down for support, and then you're working at this 43,106 or 016 level, this resistance line. And so a lot will be said about today. By today, I mean the next 24 hours. If the price doesn't move a lot, if it starts sitting in this little zone here, it might consolidate. But what you got here is you got this 100-day moving average coming down at a pretty rapid pace relative to the price. So at some point, the price action is going to have to make a choice. Is it just going to get rejected by that and come down, or is it going to, reclaim it, break through it, and go up? I think either way, whatever it does, it's going to be a big move. and not big like, you know, thousands of dollars moves, but it's gonna be a sizable move, because that's what a lot of investors and traders are looking for. They're looking for signals or signs. Like if they see, you know, if they see a break on this 100-day moving average, that's going to be a signal to buy, right? That's a bullish sign. Like you've broken a pretty critical indicator. So if you like, I mean, if you look at the price action, we've been above the 100-day moving average, which is the magenta line, for a while now. We've been above it since October of 2020. So you're talking about a moving average that we've been above for months. And you can see we usually bounce off of it. We're usually above it. The last time we were below it was the COVID dip. And you can see here, right when we moved above it in this, it was in May of 2020, you see the candle was massive. So it had a signal to buy once it moved above, and then it never went below after that. I mean, you had some wicks below, but it never was trading below that point. And that, so I mean, if you want to be completely, if you just want to be practical about it, we've been above the 100-day moving average since May of 2020. That's insane. I mean, that's, you know, it's over a year we've been above this point. We just finally dipped below it here, and we're at a point where we're very close to attempting to reclaiming it. And if that does happen, that'll just be more gas to you know, fuel the flame. But there's definitely some other, you know, yeah, I mean we're seeing action right now. You know, we're seeing, I mean, this is action. Like you're talking about a trend line for the last week that's almost straight up. Like it's, look at, I mean, that angle's crazy. I mean, this isn't going to happen because prices don't do this, but like if we follow this angle like look at this is like this small green line. That's the trend line we're on. Like if we followed this for literally another like 2 weeks, we'd be at 65,000. I'm not saying that's going to happen. There's literally no way. Just because you're going to hit enough resistance along the way, and prices are going to have to come back down to test levels for support. That's not going to happen. But the fact that we're, you know, if I come down to the hourly here, kind of zoom in, we're still on the trend line. Like I zoom in here, this is the trend. This is that green trend line. We're still on it. Like, actually, I have another trend line here. Let me make this white. And actually, we're still on this white trend line that I've drawn out. It's a more localized trend line. Like and in fact, we bounced off of it here yesterday. But like, we're looking solid. I mean, and what I like here on the hourly, like you look here on the hourly, the candle is still sitting inside the red zone. Like it's holding. This bottom part of the red resistance zone that I've drawn out, it's holding as a line of support. Things look positive. Like when Bitcoin flew up, you know, 2 days ago, I expected this. I expected a pullback of some sort because you can't short position. So yeah, I mean. So that was happening. There's a heavy resistance level here. It pulled back. You got people who probably bought in at the lows here. Like with people who bought in down here, probably were selling up here. I mean, you got swing traders who are in this market too. So, you know, if they bought down at 29,000, they're going, okay, that's a quick 10 G's for me. And you say that's why you see a lot of sell-off. But what's important is when the sell-off happens, you want to see if it can hold levels of support, and it ultimately did. I mean, we broke this line and we haven't even come back to it. And if we keep going up, if we keep breaking levels of resistance, I mean, that line's out of the question. We've totally broken that falling wedge pattern and you're gone. So things are looking positive. And let me know if the music's too loud. Yeah, man, I mean, it definitely appears to be like a lot in the beginning. Like you look at my chart, right, and you think it looks like it could be fairly complicated. There's a bunch of like lines. You got, I mean, to be fair, this chart is kind of busy. I got a lot of shit going on this one, but it just looks like a lot. But genuinely, it's just one of those things like with anything. Okay, so the music is a little bit too loud. Yeah, I can't really tell. I need to turn it down. Is that good? There. Yeah, I mean, Golden Cross and Death Cross, I mean, it's very simple. It's basically, it's a, well, I'm trying to think. The Golden Cross is a cross between it's like your 20, honestly, I can't remember what the Golden Cross is and the Death Cross. The thing with the Golden Cross and the Death Cross is, the reason I really don't remember it is because it's a lagging indicator. It's, the thing with the Golden Cross and the Death Cross is that they can signal potential buying. They can be potential buying or selling signals. But in order to attain a Death Cross or a Golden Cross, you have to have significant selling action or buying action in order to get those moving averages to cross. So, I mean, let me see here. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it's essentially so a Golden Cross is when you have the 50-day moving average crossing the 100-day moving average to the upside. So, let's pull it back out to the 1 day. Actually, let me go on like a cleaner chart. That way it's like easier. We'll go to Cardano here. So like, so my orange line here is that's my 50-day simple moving average, and this magenta line, it's kind of hard to see because I got some. Let me like hide this. Where's the home? And then like the magenta is the 100-day. So like this right here, where you have the 50-day moving average crossing down below the 100-day moving average, that's considered the Death Cross. Like, and people think that is like a sign to sell, but like in order for that to happen, the price has to already be moving down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that it's like the Golden Cross, and then the Golden Cross would be the opposite. So if like, I get the fuck it, get this shit. Like if it started to move up, like if the 50-day moving average moved up and crossed the 100 day, that would be considered your golden cross, and that's like a buy signal. So, I mean, again, it's very lagging. It's because I mean, if you look at it, the price. I mean, the average is crossed right here, and the price didn't really do much. I mean, it just kind of just kept on its trend. So I'm not the biggest, you know, proponent of the crosses, but I mean, it is a thing. It's definitely a thing. I just wouldn't trade off of them. If anything, I would if anything, I would assume it's this change in sentiment. But even then, though, like, see, we got this death cross, and we're starting to move back up. So I just, I just don't know. I'm just not the biggest. I just don't think they're like telltale signs of price action. And yeah, like a lagging indicator is something that is basically measuring like the price action and plotting it kind of in a. It's like doing a calculation based on the price action and then plotting that calculation down on a schematic. Like the MACD down here, this is a lagging indicator. Like it's basically telling you what the price action is doing, but it's not going to, in real time tell you it's not going to indicate anything in real time. It's just going to kind of show you like, okay, this is where the price is kind of moving towards, or this is the momentum, this is the sentiment. RSI is a little bit better. I wouldn't necessarily call the RSI a lagging indicator. It's plotting in real time the relative strength of the price. So like, we're obviously in the middle here of our purple band, so we're right in the prime spot for buying or selling. We're kind of just in neutral territory. And this is for Cardano. Where the hell is my text? Yeah, we'll see what happens with the price action here. A lot of, I mean, we're still positive. I mean, at some point we're gonna have a negative day. It's just, it's gonna happen. Can't ride this way for too long, but things look very good. Things look very good. Anchor's looking very good too. If I pull out Anchor to the monthly, we're sitting above. Our monthly candle is a positive one, and we're sitting above the critical 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. So it's a positive sign for Anchor. If it can stay closed above this level, that's a great sign for that price action. I mean, things are for a lot of these cryptocurrencies, things are looking very positive on the macro level charts. I mean, like you got this month candle, the Ethereum monthly candle is positive. Cardano's monthly candle is not positive, but it is sitting above the critical level here for the this green support line, trend line. All it needs to do is close above 131 though, and you're looking solid for continuation. And we did break. I mean, we broke our. We ultimately. Let me. I have these in black still because my background was. But. You know, we broke this wedge pattern, and if you were to draw out the target, your target is usually from the mouth to from the top of the mouth to the close of the mouth of the wedge, and then you pull that over to where the breakout happened. I mean, you're looking at around 202, something like that. I'll try that down. So I mean, sky's the limit for Cardano. You're looking at a 202 here. Looks pretty good. RSI is good. MACD's on the swing back up. I mean, things look solid. Litecoin not looking solid. I mean, you got you have this, you got a trend line here that you haven't even broken yet. Like, this is like one of the few coins where you haven't even broken your downward trend. I mean, honestly, what it did is unfortunately the 50-day MA is kind of like conjoined with this trend line, and it tapped it. That's a resistance point, falls back, and now you're still sitting below. You haven't made a higher high, and you still got this level here, which is like 144. Litecoin just doesn't look that bullish. Polkadot broke a huge descending wedge here. And you're talking yeah, you're talking about the SMAs, the simple moving averages.